There she is in the background. She is ready to go. You look great. It's okay. How you doing? You doing all right?
I woke up late. I'm sorry.
You're fine. I saw the text message, so it was perfectly fine. I was talking to Avi. We were about to get into Dark Forest stuff, which was going to have me glowing on screen.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for that book, 3-body series, Earth Remembrance, where it goes from the Chinese Revolution all the way out to the end of the universe. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. It's a terrifying book. He invoked Dark Forest in one of his interviews when he was talking about the object that was coming from the interstellar object. But that is not what I'm working on. How are you doing this morning? And just so the audience, I am doing all right. Sarah Bils, DDGO Politics, fantastic outlet. You wrote a terrifying piece yourself recently that I want to eventually get to. I want to start with Iran, though. Got to start with Iran. Because I think our criticism of Iran is finally sinking in. And no, I don't think anybody from Iran is paying attention to us, but it seems like the criticism is sinking in. So Foreign Minister Agachi came out with this. Apparently, the United States was begging for talks again. And again, just to put this in context, the U.S. has talks with Iran. The U.S. is all over the place in the talks. And it's inconsistent in those talks, which made me come out to the conclusion the U.S. is full of it. They are prepping for an attack. This is nonsense. This is meaning if you were honest and serious about negotiations, you don't postulate a position that you know the people are going to outright reject and then continuously move in your positions within the negotiations. It looks like you're trying to fail on purpose. Israel attacks. The U.S. knew about the attack, backed the attack, and then turned around and attacked Iran when it became clear that Israel was taking a beating that it hadn't expected to take. And this comes out information after the fact that said that Israel was not expecting the beating that it got in that exchange. No. And they were trying to regime change. So there's that.
Correct.
Agachi comes out, Agachi, I believe and says this. The U.S. must agree to compensation before nuclear talks. Iran foreign minister says. He goes further and points out and says, look, not only do you need to give us compensation, if your position starts off as you must get rid of your nuclear enrichment, then there's nothing for us to talk about. So effectively, we don't need to have talks with you. If that is going to be the position, what is the point of engaging in this if that is going to be your prevailing point of view? And you need to pay us. You need to pay us for what you've done, which the U.S. is never going to do, which means Iran is telling the U.S. to F off in regards to the talks. And by the way, saying the same thing to the European Union, which I used to wonder, why are you having talks with the European Union? They're completely irrelevant. Give me your thoughts on this. Is this Iran finally?
No.
You don't think so?
What are we talking about? All words are wind. What is this? We're going back to the table? We're even considering it?
No.
That's already a law. No, he said he's putting conditions on it.
Yes, he's saying pay us. And if you're going, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. What compensation is going to make up for that? Are you kidding? Just pay us and everything that you did in our country will just go back to the table? What is going on?
I guess I was going with the idea that there was no situation ever that the U.S. was going to give Iran money. Because that was my premise.
That doesn't give them any leverage, though, to just put a condition on the talks that they know isn't going to be fulfilled. They're not making leverage out of that. They know that's not a possibility. So why are you stalling? Why are you biding time? For what?
Well, I didn't think it was biding time. I think it was a rejection of talks.
Well, he didn't say no. He didn't say no. If he wanted to reject the talks, why didn't he reject them?
Because they're taking a political stance. It's kind of like Russia. But
then you're engaging in the negotiation.
But is that really a negotiation? If you know, like, for example,
we'll come back to the table as long as you do this. That's what the United States has been doing with them as well. It's the same game.
But do you think the United States was actually negotiating?
I don't know what Iran's doing either.
No. But answer that one, though. When the U.S. was engaging in negotiations, quote unquote. Okay.
No, so, I think that maybe if they went a little differently, the U.S. might have not capitulated, but might have accepted the outcome. But I don't think that given the conditions, they would have ever
Precisely.
Yeah.
Which means I want to look like I'm negotiating. I want to look like I'm open to negotiations, to the world and to my population, even though you're putting a condition on the negotiation that you know the other side would never accept, which means you're not really negotiating. You're intentionally.
That doesn't give them any power, though.
It's not about power. It's just about perception. That's the way I saw it.
It doesn't. Oh, I didn't see it that way. I don't think many people are paying that much attention anymore, honestly, to Iran, and not in America.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the boisterousness that the United States is taking, where they're effectively making this argument that we're going to attack you again, we're going to attack you again if you do this to Iran. And Iran is effectively saying, dude, we're not playing this game anymore.
Well, I hope that Iran understands that that's inevitable anyway. They're going to get attacked regardless.
Yes.
Whether they comply with the negotiations or not. So I guess they're playing it correctly. I think that what, like, in the grand scheme of things, you know, is to sort of not actively engage in negotiations and not technically pull yourself out of them entirely. So yeah. I guess so. You're right. I'll come around and agree that they're sort of putting it back and putting, like, you kind of did it to us and we'll do it to you sort of thing. Yeah, but it doesn't gain them any leverage in the end.
It's not that I think they're trying to gain leverage. So when I was speaking to there were a few people from Iran that I had a conversation with. And the thing that they told me, they said, look, we have a liberal population, or we have, let's say, a group of people who are very liberal, who thinks that all of the issues with Iran are related to the government itself, meaning it's the government's fault. It's not the U.S. And if indeed we just work with America, Iran would be love and light and everything would be fantastic, etc. And that so the government was put in this kind of odd position where, okay, we will play this game. We would go into these negotiations. We will do this stuff. Now, the problem I have with that point of view is it seems that the government believed it. And the reformist government, for all intents and purposes, were open to negotiations with the United States, despite the fact that the United States had their hands full of blood. Mm-hmm. And so it may be a bit of both, that in one sense, the government felt like, okay, we need to have these negotiations when people like me were screaming out of your mind, these people are monsters. Whereas now, with power solidified, and even these liberals screaming, you need to get a bomb, well, they're more confident of saying, we don't need to negotiate with you, even though we would like to have the world appearance that we're open to it. Like Russia. Russia would say, Russia is effectively screaming for capitulation in the form of negotiation. They are like, look, man, we need you to do this, 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 and this. And we're open to negotiations. It's like, dude, it's like you're winning the war, right? You know you're winning the war. What you're asking for is capitulation, even though you're calling it negotiations. It seems to be a tactic. It's what the U.S.
Iran's not winning their war.
Yes. Okay. Are they at war?
Sure. They've been at war since 1979.
Are they losing that war?
No.
It's an interesting question.
It's not decisive yet, no. But they're definitely not winning it.
Azerbaijan is a new front.
Oh, God, what a mess.
Yes.
That's Russia's fault. That is, I'm sorry. We're going to get mad at me.
Why are you blaming Russia?
That's Russia's fault. That's Russia's backyard. That's Russia's spear. I know Russia kind of likes to take a little bit more of a hands-off approach to be different than the United States. You know, they always do we don't like to get involved. We won't get involved where we're not asked to. Well, now look at us. We've got three places in the Caucasus that really don't want much to do with Russia. Georgia doesn't want much to do with Russia other than economically, and that's it. Armenia wants nothing to do with Russia after Nagorno-Karabakh. Nothing. Azerbaijan wants nothing to do with Russia. Now they're going tit for tat on arresting people. Who does Russia have to talk to in the Caucasus?
But why do you blame Russia for... Okay. Why do you blame Russia for Azerbaijan?
Who gave Azerbaijan Artsakh? Besides Armenia.
But they didn't give it to them.
Sure they did. When the Soviet Union fell apart. Sure they did.
Oh, right. Stop.
Sure they did. And Russia fails to call out the Israeli bombs supplied to Azerbaijan. Russia fails to call out the Israelis like refusal to recognize the Armenian Genocide. Russia refuses to call out the fact that the Israelis are working with the Azeris and the Ukrainians to commit to acts of terror inside of Russia and inside of Iran. What's Russia doing? That's Russia's backyard. That's Russia's Monroe Doctrine. Could you imagine if Russia came in and used Mexico to bomb us with drones?
No, of course not. To be fair, though, it seems like they're going after Azerbaijan in somewhat of a different way. And the things that they've been
they'll do their slow Russia sort of very Russian. We'll bomb your oil refineries. We're going to arrest your journalists. Yeah, so it'll be a tit for tat for a while. But politically, in the political arena, they can't do much because of the position that they've gotten themselves in regards to the Caucasus, especially Azerbaijan and Armenia. Georgia's a little bit more neutral, but they really don't matter in this conversation.
Explain to me. Okay, maybe I'm wrong on this. So explain to me. I've heard people, Anna Kasparian, but she's Armenian, even though she's on a show called The Young Turks, which is just weird.
We just ignore that.
Yeah, that's bizarre to me. I don't know how she ignores that. There was an Armenian genocide with the group, the Young Turks, who were in charge of Turkey at the time. Yeah. And yet she sits on the show, and I'm like, how does this work? How do you
right? How do you come from a show with this name and then go on Tucker Carlson and talk about the Israelis?
Yes. I didn't understand it. I'm sitting there watching this like, how does that work? How do you do that? But okay, put that to the side for the moment. And she complains about effectively Azerbaijan ethnically cleansing the Armenians from a territory that the world doesn't consider to be Armenia.
No.
At all. What am I missing on this? Because you used the term Arshta. Ooh.
I lost my camera. 1 second.
It's okay. You'll be back.
Yeah, I will.
I love the DD Geopolitics logo. That's awesome.
But, let's see what you did it, Rick.
It's okay. I would like an explanation on that when you get back. There you are. I'm confused by that because I've heard you're not the only one. Like you use the term Arstock as opposed to Nagorno-Karabakh.
Arstock, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. But why do you consider that an ethnic cleansing when it's not considered to be Armenian territory?
It was all ethnic Armenians. It's been a territory that's been gone back and forth for many, many years, but it's been populated by Armenians for ever. And then in 1913, I believe, I might have the year wrong, but it was like 93% Armenian. And then we just watched it systematically be ethnically cleansed. It was like a slow kind of majority ethnic cleanse. And then in 2023, I believe, they went.
Azerbaijan kicked ass.
Yeah, they went overboard. And they've done it before. They did it in 2020. They've done smaller incursions in the past years. And then in 2022 or 2023, they used the SMO to their advantage as sort of a cover and did it then. And Russia could not do anything at all, obviously. And no one else was really watching because what's the Caucasus? Nobody knows what that is. So
should Russia have done something? And if so,
in that situation, I wish they would have, but I don't know what the limitations that were placed on them, what they could have done in that sort of. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Armenia was very weird about them participating. Pashinyan is not Russia friendly.
No,
Azerbaijan wasn't going to say anything to Russia. They had the upper hand. So what are you going to do? You have Pashinyan, who is, by all intents and purposes, is just a quisling, a patsy. So
I guess I don't know what you do in this situation.
I don't know
if Russia makes a military
threat. Superpower, though, you need to figure it out. These are very small countries. These are smaller than New Jersey. Like they're not big. Like you can't figure out how to. This area of the world is so important. This is like one of the keys to the heartland and heartland theory. The Caucasus are so important. The Black Sea, the Caspian Sea, the Caucasus Mountains, that little sliver of land that connects Russia to Iran. That is even talked about by political theorists about how important that area is, even though we don't see it that way because we don't talk about these places that often. For Russia to risk why don't we? I think just because we don't. They're not that they're not very interesting. They're not very.
Sorry, just to be clear, I don't mean why don't we not talk about them? Why doesn't Russia has more of a Monroe Doctrine in that region? I mean,
I think that they're always very walking on eggshells when it comes to things that they called out the United States for doing, and they don't want to.
screw that.
That's what I say.
Screw that. You need a bit of hypocrisy in your life.
Right?
I mean, country.
But
I know this is horrible.
They'll even do it to cover their own asses, like in the elections. Like they really are like, Russia does not interfere in elections. Russia does not. We don't. Like they're very like, we don't even want to give the perception because we don't even want to get in trouble. That's the reason, like, that's a lot of the reason why the weapons deals don't go through. We don't want the West to get upset.
Countries are hypocrites almost by definition because they have to be.
Yeah. And it's okay. It's okay. Every once in a while, you're like, I'm sorry, that's what I had to do.
It's about survival. And countries.
The thing is that Russia's going to survive, but at what cost? I don't want to lose Armenia or Azerbaijan as semi-Russian allies. I don't want to lose Georgia. Georgia was it feels like Russia's kind of losing a lot of her they weren't allies to begin with, but the relations were warming in the prior Soviet Union, and now it's like you're at war with Ukraine. The Baltics hate you. Poland doesn't like you. The Caucasus are about to go to war. The only people left are Belarus and the Asians.
I'm curious about why, though. Is it just because the Soviet Union fell apart? Those countries wanting to get closer to the West because of this idea of the West and what
it's
the West
was. That sort of rubber band snapping back, right. Sort of, we'll go to the extreme opposite since this was so horrible and the grass is so much greener on the other side.
Is that what it is?
I think a lot of it was at the beginning, but once those liberal institutions and the Washington Consensus really dug into those countries, that was it. Especially in the Caucasus, the United States and the USAID have a huge presence in Armenia. Armenia is France and the United States. Georgia is the United States and France as well. And then Azerbaijan is Turkey, Israel, and sometimes the United States. And Britain. Britain is very involved in Azerbaijan. So this is something that Russia, I may be a blind spot, but it's gotten way out of hand in terms of the foreign influence inside of the Caucasus. 100%. I mean, they've caused the war in Georgia, which was blamed on Russia until the UN report came out and said absolutely not. They've stoked color revolutions in Armenia and Georgia. They attempted another color revolution last year in Georgia.
Yes, they did.
So, it's time maybe to be a little bit hypocritical.
Yeah, you got to deal with, especially now, considering the pressure that's being applied. I mean, Lavrov made the statement saying we're alone fighting the West. And it's like, oh, that's kind of true. That sucks. And then when you look at Iran, where Azerbaijan seemed to have attacked Russia and Iran, oh, that's a different animal. That's, it's complicated. Very complicated.
I think I'm just a little bit more cynical. I really, really want them to act. I don't want them to go to war, but right. I really want them to show some meaningful engagement, at least diplomatically, and try to, instead of this sort of, especially with Azerbaijan, they're like, I arrest your journalist. No, I arrest your journalist. No, I repo your box truck. No, I bomb your, it's like this weird back and forth. It's like, go to the table or do something tangible. Like, none of this stuff is going to affect very international foreign policy. It's interesting.
Yeah,
but they're also tied down in Ukraine. And what they're doing in Ukraine is also kind of pinpricks at people like Azerbaijan, people like Israel. Well, they bombed their oil refineries that supply a lot of the oil to Azerbaijan, which then in turn goes to Israel. They've also bombed a few rabbis' vehicles and places inside of Ukraine and said, they were spying. So they're getting bombed. And they drone struck a rabbi's car. They didn't kill him, but they blew the engine up.
I shouldn't be laughing at that.
No, he didn't die. He's fine. He's alive. I'll laugh. Laugh it up. If he died, I wouldn't laugh about it.
Yeah, that sounds so morbid. I mean, they've been
dying.
bombing the shit out of Kiev.
Oh my God! Last night again, the Iskander. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's 27 apparently that they shot at Kiev or at Kiev.
I think they're doing it now because they get a reaction out of Trump.
Chasiv Yar has been liberated.
Yeah, that was late last night before I went to bed. Yep,
it's falling.
Yep.
Yeah, the speed of which of this is increasing.
Well, they stacked those troops at the border. They knew this was going to happen. There's 50,000 staff in the Sumy buffer zone, so It's just going to keep happening while Trump's freaking out. I don't know if you saw last night, he's yelling about Russia and China. It's great. Yes. I think that's a lot of the reason why another reason why they're doing it. Like, it's Trump does not like it. It's great.
Well, for one, it makes him look like an asshole. B, it highlights the point that you have no cards, quote unquote, to take Trump's own terms for it. You have no power in this process. This imperial thing that you're taking doesn't apply. And it's clear it doesn't apply because you can't do anything about it short of going to nuclear war, which is a loss for everybody. And so there's a reckoning that the US is going to have to come in contact with a reality that Trump is not the guy who seemingly is in touch with reality. He's going with this kind of weird escalate. Like, I don't believe for a moment. In fact, I kind of want him to do it because I'm just curious about what happens. The notion that you're going to put 100% tariffs on India, China, Saudi Arabia, UAE. You've already put 50 on BRICS, on Brazil. So I don't know if that's going to be 150%. The 25% that you put on South Africa. I mean, you're effectively going after BRICS. He said as much, by the way, that the entire point of this is because all of these countries deal with Russia, and he wants to go after the BRICS. So all of these BRICS nations and all of these, let's say, BRIC adjacent nations, you are apparently going to put 100% tariffs on. Let me see it. I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to see it. I'm super curious.
Me too. Every time I'm always like, do it. Do it, you know?
Yeah, I am super, super curious. I want to see that take place.
I don't like this whole pay to play thing. I really think it's disgusting. Whole, if you two don't have a ceasefire, no trade. Okay.
What the F are you?
Yeah. Number one. And number two, do you even know why they went to war to begin with? You think trade with the United States is going to fix those reasons for the people on those places? He has no idea. Like, these people have no idea. Oh, I'm going to bully you until you're nice to Bolsonaro in Brazil. Are you John Gotti? What the hell is going on? What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about?
He put 50% tariffs on Brazil.
For that, and they are huge, and we're upside down with Brazil. We're upside down with them.
What's going to be super interesting is when the 10 days are over with, is it 150? And the deal that you're trying to make with China?
150.
150% tariffs. If it's already 50%, and you're going to add 100% tariffs as a secondary tariff on anybody who's trading with Russia, okay. So is that 150% on them? Is it 125% on India? Like, are these compounded, or does it just go to 100%? And you are supposed to be in a trade deal with China. And you're talking about putting 100% tariffs. You're supposed to be in a trade deal with India.
Extension the other day, right? They did a 90-day extension on the trade sort of truce, they're calling it.
Yes.
Did they go back to war now?
Exactly. Which is why I keep saying, do it. I want to see it.
Chinese and India both said, you don't tell us where we get our energy. Like, India or China said, we have huge energy demands. Who the F are you to tell us where we get our energy from? And India has a minister specifically for pricing oil and buying it. He was just laughed. He was like, what? No. He was like, there's no way we will pay more for oil because the United States asked us to. That's crazy.
Which is why I like it.
I love it.
Accelerant.
Now you're getting it. Now you're seeing it like me. I'm like, do it. As long as nobody's dying, do it. Like, do it. Let's go. Let's rip this Band-Aid off. You want to attack BRICS? Do it.
I'm sick of the world accepting this position of daddy. I hate that shit. It's like, we have our own responsibilities on this planet. And the idea that a country of 5% of the population is telling all of these other countries what to do seems outrageous to me. Which, like, do it.
Well, I think they're going to see what was actually keeping the United States in power before all of this happened, which was fear or kind of ignorance. We don't even know what they can or will do. Well, the United States has shown a lot of their cards, and a lot of these people are like, we're not really that scared of you anymore. And I think that this is going to end in disaster, not necessarily violence, but the United States is not going to get what they want here, and it's going to be egg on Trump's face big time.
Yeah, either he's going to have to back down or he's going to have to go through with this. And there will be financial consequences.
China will eat him alive.
Yeah.
India's more like we play non-aligned. We can do nice. They like to have their foreign policy is literally to be allied to as many countries or friendly to as many countries as possible. You can really see it in their foreign policy. So I'm sure not that they'll capitulate, but they'll be much more amicable. But China's going to eat them alive.
Yeah.
Once you start even toying with secondary sanctions, you're admitting a huge loss. You're admitting that you don't have very much control over the situation.
Agreed. Because that means you have no control over the individual country that you're dealing with.
Exactly.
And
you couldn't get anything done with Russia. Now you got to attack other people. That's a big loss. That's an L.
Yeah. And you get into the sovereignty of those other countries. And that hits a nerve. That just hits a raw nerve. India is a country of what, 1.5 billion people?
85 million, bazillion, trillion people. All of the people in the world live in India and China. It's like 3 billion people between the two of them. It's crazy.